Our project investigates the difference between high and low art. We asked a few students what their opinion is.
High art is going back to the classics and is more traditional, while low art is more modern and abstract.
This is my friend Annabelle. She's a sophomore in Studio One Art. Annabelle, what do you think the difference between high and low art is?
I think high art is when there's a lot of creativity and colors, and low art is when there's a lack of colors and creativity.
Okay, this is my friend Molly, and she's a dancer. So Molly, what do you think the difference between high art?
I would have to say high art is based on quality, and every person is really giving it everything they have. And low art would be not doing it by the best ability or not.
Emma, what do you think the difference between high and low art is?
Well, for me, since I mostly do singing, high art is more like classical pieces and you really have to work towards making it sound right. And then for low art, I think more like pop music because it's not as hard to sing. It relates to like actual like painting and stuff because you're still being expressive. It's a way that people can sing, express themselves and touch music.
Okay, this is Paulina. She's a sophomore in Studio Art 1. So, Paulina, what do you think the difference between high and low art is?
Well, for me, high art would be kind of, it would be like specific colors, an actual picture. Then low art is kind of like a lot of like non-detailed things, like splattery things, abstract art mostly.
So, Erin, what do you think the difference between high art and low art is?
I think high art is something where the artist puts a lot of emphasis and effort into the composition, whether it's a painting or a drawing or using like different mediums. I think that, he puts a lot of emotion and different techniques all in one. I think low art is something like maybe very like abstract and you don't really know what's going on. And yeah.
In my opinion, high art is more realistic and takes a lot of technical skill. However, low art is also very interesting to look at, but is more loose and doesn't have as many boundaries, I guess. Personally, I like looking at high art and find it more interesting. I like them both, but high art is, I don't know.
So I'm going to show you some pictures of art, and you can tell me if you think that they're high art or low art and why. So the first picture is this picture. I think this is high art because you can see how masterful the skill is and the realism and attention to detail. Okay. I think that this is low art because the pictures are not very realistic and they don't resemble a picture, a photograph at all. I think this is low art because it's very abstract and up to the viewer's interpretation. I think this is low art because it does not look very realistic. I think this is high art because everything is very defined and there's a lot of detail. I think this is low art because it's very abstract.
This piece, although beautiful, would be considered low art. Although it took skill to create and was a high-class object that only the rich could afford, its purpose was merely a daily routine. It doubled as both a novelty item and an artwork. If this were a sculpture instead of a paperweight, it could maybe be considered high art. It's its purpose that makes it low. This piece is high art because its only purpose is to be an artwork. It is classically inspired and takes the refined technique of an artist, as we can tell by the brushstrokes. One must analyze it to glean meaning. The placement of this artwork is also significant. It was hung on a wall for all to see and gather around. This harp is in between high and low art. Although it had an everyday purpose to play music, its sound was artful and classy. It provoked thoughts of elegant parties and high-class occasions. Also, it is appealing to the eye. That's why it is in between. If this were made for a museum, then I would maybe consider it high art.